Hoi hoi, it's louisity again, and for this video we are going to talk about the books for my August 2025 TBR with the help of the Alphabet TBR game. Hurrah! So the mechanics would be, now I have a jar filled with the different alphabets from the English alphabet, so there's like 26 letters and each letter has a corresponding prompt. On average, I pick like 4 letters or 4 prompts, and then I'm going to have to look for a book that would match each prompt, and as much as possible to kind of like, meet halfway to ensure that I meet or exceed my Goodreads goals, as well as knowing myself and how I manage my reading. I'm just going to stick with 4 picks or 4 prompts. I'm trying to have at least 4 books per month, but it is up to me whether I would decide to combine prompts or picks. By the way, if we pick a prompt consecutively, so say I pick letter A and then I pick letter B consecutively, or I pick letter Z and I pick letter Y consecutively, I'm gonna have to add another pick. Okay, however, if I pick letter Z and then I pick letter A, or I pick letter A and I pick letter Z, that won't add any prompt. Plus, if I pick a prompt that I already picked from the previous month, then I'm going to have to add another prompt. Now, I want to be kind to myself because as much as possible, I want to get like a book for each prompt, even if sometimes I combine it. I am going to then put it up to a maximum of 8 picks, okay? 8 prompts. Now, I did this thing in June 2025 wherein I swapped one of the books. We'll see if I'm going to be doing that in August or if I did that in July 2025. And I was just thinking, because I want to make the most out of my Everon subscription, I might not necessarily like do a swap, but I might just read books that are like going to be available in my Everon subscription, because sometimes they just randomly become available. It's kind of like what happened in June 2025, where Point of Retreat became available. So we'll see about that. I mean, as much as possible, I want to read these books, but if a book from my Everon subscription appears to be available, then I might just take the opportunity to make the most out of my subscription. So, without further ado, let us begin. Before we go into my August 2025 TBR, let us talk about how I did in July 2025. So, for letter J, which is TBR jar, my TBR jar made me pick Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor, and I listened to the audiobook of this. For letter Z, which is a new to me author, I chose American Panda by Gloria Chow, and I read this. For letter R, which is Richard chose Amari and the Great Game by B.B. Alston, and I read this. And finally, for letter F, which is Father Pick, my father chose Seraphina and the Black Cloak by Robert Beatty, and I read this. Additionally, I listened to the audiobook of Black Flamingo by Dean Atta. Now, let us head on to knowing our August 2025 TBR.
Pick number 1. Letter P.
Letter P is Person on the Cover, and I chose Rise to the Sun by Leah Johnson. Now, this has to be fate because I've been thinking about wanting to read this one, and I was like hoping that this prompt specifically would be picked because I know that Rise Through the Sun by Leah Johnson is going to be the book that I would be putting on here. And I've been, wanting to read like another book by Leah Johnson. I'm going to listen to this on an audiobook. So yeah, I'm excited to listen to it. And yeah, if ever that, my Everond would, do a little something and something else would be available, I might use a swap, what you call this, like swap prompt or not swap prompt, swap book, I should say. Ooh, got a little tongue tied, but yes, definitely this is something that I am excited to read. I want to read more about, the books by Leah Johnson. I enjoyed You Should See Me in a Crown. I really like that book and hoping to enjoy more works by Leah Johnson.
Pick number 2. Letter E.
Letter E is a book that starts with the letter L. Now, honestly, I kind of had a hard time thinking about which book am I going to pick, but suddenly my brain, some sort of in the deeper corners of it, suddenly it kind of whoosh, an idea came out. It suddenly it was able to dig deep somewhere down there, and that sort of title suddenly sprouted, or it was unburied, and all of a sudden I thought, and this is a book that I've been wanting to read since I started getting into BookTube, whether creating content or being more serious with BookTube and watching BookTube, interacting with BookTubers and all that stuff. I've been wanting, it's been years since I wanted, and I kind of hope, borrowing it to from somebody, but things happen. But anyway, I'm going to read Love and Gelato by Jenna Evans Welch. Now, I'm kind of into Italian cuisine. I hope to one day, who knows if that's going to happen, to visit Italy and really eat a lot of pasta, pizza, and of course, gelato. I am a sweet tooth, so I definitely want to eat other ice creams out there, so yeah, definitely looking forward to read this one.
Pick number 3. Letter C.
Letter C is Nature on the Cover. Now, I don't know, for some reason this prompt gets, picked a lot. I picked this in March 2025, and I picked this a couple of months ago in June 2025, or rather for June 2025. And, I was looking at the books that I have, and I decided to choose, I went from, through my physical copies, and I'm not going to be considering humans as nature on the cover, okay? I know we are living things, but when I thought about this prompt, either an animal or a plant or trees, or maybe even bodies of water, or land formation or something, and I decided to choose Water Moon by Samantha Soto-Yambao. Now, as you can see, there's water there. There's a paper. Those are the paper boats, and there's an indication that that's water, y'all. So yeah, and I know this is kind of magical realism. I went to the book signing for this book, and basically, the book talk with Samantha Soto-Yambao in SM Aura, and she was really pleasant. I'll link down my vlog for you folks to see it in case you haven't. And yeah, I'm definitely excited for this book. has something to deal with pawn shop as far as I recall now, because as much as possible I like, not knowing about the books that I am going to read until such time that I'm about to read it. So yeah, that's what I can share for now, and I'm definitely excited. Let's see if I'm going to be doing a reading vlog for this one.
Pick number 4. Letter T.
And this prompt was picked again. Finally, letter T is a debut book. And I was contemplating about what to pick for this one. And I decided to go with something that was quite popular years ago. And I'm definitely curious about how I'm going to think about or feel about this book. I chose 13 Reasons Why by J. Asher. Now, what made me think that this book was interesting is that, it does deal about bullying, or there was a bully character there. So definitely curious about what I would think about it. So yeah, that's what I picked for letter T. Let me know down in the comment section below what are the books that you plan to read in August 2025, or what is that book that you've been thinking about a lot reading, or maybe even owning, or just if there's none, perhaps maybe you can just chat down the book that is on top of your mind, while you're commenting. Think about what's that book that's on top of your mind, something like that. And if you've made it this far, leave a gold medal with the #1 emoji. So I hope you folks liked this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Also, click that subscribe button and hit that little bell icon somewhere down there to keep yourselves posted about my videos. And also put down links and handles on my social media accounts, so feel free to check me out and follow me there and support me there as well. As always, thank you super much for watching. Always be thankful and unleash the reader in you. Bye y'all!